Audio check. 1, 2, 3. 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 Oh, that's fascinating. Okay, folks, David Gonzalez here, and welcome to Monday. If it's Monday, it is a live stream, and today we are going to be going over controls. Yes. So, we got Deuce over here rigged up and weight painted, so the next step is to put a control mechanism to help us move the armature along. Now, the method that I use for this is I use a 2 armature method, and let me just use let me find something here to show you the concept. So, the idea here is to set up kind of like a marionette, right? So, think of the main, this is going to be the primary deform rig, right? So this is the rig that's attached to the meshes. And then this is the second armature. So it's 2 armatures together acting on the same character. But the second armature is this crossbar here, this control bar, and then the constraints between this armature and this armature are these strings here, right here. Right? So these strings are the constraints that are going to drive the character via the secondary armature. Then the other thing that we're going to need to do is to have a universal control node that's going to move both those armatures around. So for that, it's pretty simple. We're going to create an empty object. We got to be in object mode. Empty plane access. This is going to be, or we're just going to name it the character name. Now we're going to create another armature, single bone, and this is armature deform. So this is going to be armature CTRL control. So now we're going to select these two armatures, then select the plane axis. Nope, that's the plane. My bad. Select those two armatures, select Medusa. And we're going to parent them, keep offsets. Or keep transforms. So now, if we just grab the Medusa node and move that along. So whenever now we do our scene, and we want to place Medusa somewhere, we just grab that and move it. And awesome. It's also our what's it called? It's also our scaling node. So by scaling that parent object, we scale everything together in unison. That being the case, let's reset our location. Okay. Okay. That being the case, I want to select everything that is selected. We're going to shut the selection for the lamps off and the camera off. So now, when we hit, that should select everything that is Medusa. We're going to apply some stuff here. Apply location, rotation, and scale. And I'm going to save this to another increment. Save as, we're up to F. G for Gorgon. And that should not have affected the... And at this point in time, we can shut off the universal transfer node. That should not have affected the deform modifier, the deform thing. So if I grab that and start moving that, everything still deforms. Okay. We're gonna set this default, the first default bone in there to. We don't want it to deform because we don't want any of these bones to deform. Okay, I'm going to start from the bottom up, which means that... Oh, we should also set this guy to X-ray. Yep. And I want to set it on also. Edit mode. These we're going to set to B-bones. There was a way to shrink the... One second. There was a way to... No. I'm blanking on something right now. I knew it was something simple. There we go. And yes, we are listening to the WoW soundtrack because some people are getting a little tired of the splashdown, which is fine. And I'm simply getting tired of hunting for royalty-free music. So I've noticed that using the WoW soundtrack doesn't get me tagged, so... So while I'm doing this housekeeping stuff, I'm just going to do a plea for some help here. We're almost at 500 subscribers, and I'm really, really happy about that. So I just want to say thank you to you guys with the 499 that follow you. Yeah, the 499 of you. Thanks a lot. It really means a lot to. It really means a lot to me. Again, I don't have a Patreon, because there is a project that I'm hoping to kickstart soon, and it's going to be featuring this character right here as well as others. So if you really want to help this channel grow, right now what I need more than anything is subs. So if you can take the link for the channel link and share that with your friends that do 3D and get them to subscribe and follow, that would be awesome. For those of you that were here Wednesday looking for a live stream and I was AWOL, apologize for that. There was some doctor stuff that I had to do. I should have put some kind of a notification though. So, from previous things that I've... Before, I used to physically make this 2 different bones, but with the B-bones, you can actually individually slice... You can slice individual bones by creating segments. So here, I'm going to give it 2 segments because the spine is semi-rigid. Alright, so the spine being semi-rigid, or rather the thoracic spine is semi-rigid. It can flex, but at the same time, because of the ribs that it holds, the ribs give the thoracic spine a bit of stiffness. On the other hand, this right here, the abdominal spine, is more flexible, so we can give that 3 segments for now and play with it later. And the hips are fused, so the hips are not going to be flexible at all. We're going to go here to the neck, and the neck, give that 2 segments. For now, we might change that later. These snake things, I might actually still have to tweak those because they don't look like they're in the best position. So, nope. I may go on and do an Ajara sculpt, but for now, like, I really want to get Deuce to a place where I can start animating her. Wow, this is really off. How is it so off? Like, it's not just off, it's really off. Trying to think if that at some point in time I did something. Oh yes, because I grabbed this. I grabbed the head off of her marble version. That would be why. and I believe the resolution that I came up with for the snakehead was to use shapes, blend shapes. There we go. Let's go with oh, that is interesting. Okay, so understood. I mean, I didn't think that it would. I never tried it before or paid attention, but apparently with the this thing cutting the bones into segments, that doesn't work across the the mirror function, so it has to be done manually. Okay. The scaling works across the mirror function. That's good. Alright, and that should do it. Okay. So with that housekeeping stuff out of the way, we should be able to start doing our control rig. Actually, a couple more little housekeeping bits. Let's go to our modifiers, the view, alright. We have to shut off the subdivision surfaces. So for boots, actually we can hide the boots. We're not going to be... Deuce is good. Eyes. Drop that down. Hair. Really? Huh. That is interesting. I thought I did have a modifier on the hair. Okay. I mean, the hair is FPO. I'm going to be changing that eventually, but right now I want to get an animated, or I want to get an animatable version of Deuce. Alright, I believe the housekeeping's out of the way, and we can just jump in and start rigging. Okay, cool. So even though we're still set to B-bones, you can see that the snap to vertex is still working. I was actually kind of worried that that would have not... That's good. That is very good. Okay. So what I'm going to do... Yeah, I know, I said I'm going to start from the bottom up, and I lied. Let's shut the let's disable the selection for the deform armature. We do want to keep the view because we need that to guide us. I just wanted to put the hip pivot in, and we're going to name it as such. Armature control. This bone is high impact polystyrene. From here now we can go ahead and create the rest of our control armature. So let's get the so again, starting from bottom up, we're going to work with our foot controller, and okay, I just don't want to run into problems now. I don't want to run into problems later, so I'm going to deal with this now. She does drop below the baseline for the ground, so like, I'm debating. No, because the scenes where she's barefoot are like minuscule. So I'll just make a separate iteration for that. Alright, that should work better. Shut that off again. Shut off the selection for the deform. Back to the control. Edit mode, and now add another bone. This is going to be our heel. So we want it at the back over here. And there. So the pivot point has to be at that heel, and we do want it ground level. This point now here, we are going to bring that to the end of the toes. So let's hide our mesh, and with the vertex snapping in place, should get us to where we want to be. That's good. Okay. Now from here, or rather from this point, we are going to extrude another bone back to snap it to there, and this is going to be, so this is our toe controller, and this is going to be the ball roll for the foot. So the foot's going to roll on this ball. It's going to rock on the heel back here, roll on the ball of the foot here, and bring this back. This is where we're going to get our ankle IK target. And we want to extrude that straight back along the y-axis. So now let's name these bones. This one is going to be heel. CTR heel. Wait, CTR foot heel. and left. CTR just is shorthand for me to remind me that it's a control bone. Foot is the family of controls that it's going to be for, so it's part of the foot control, and heel is the specific part. So using that naming convention, this one then is going to be, I did do that, didn't I? Copy, paste. This one's going to be foot, toes, Moses supposes his toes are roses. Ball. Now this one gets a specific name. This one is going to be not control, but IKTG for IK target, foot, ankle. L. And /L dot L. Oh, really? No, I don't actually have to put foot. IKTG ankle, because the IKTG, the IK target already is going to give it a enough of distinction. So when I'm trying to find the names in the drop down menu, I just go with the so the reason for the naming convention is when you're trying to do your constraints, and you get the drop-down menu to select the object for the constraint. If I type foot, it'll bring up everything that has to do with the foot. So with that, I can streamline the process of finding everything. It's a kind of like a bookkeeping trick. And again, with the snap tool on, just make sure that I get everything where I want it to be. So to show you how this works, or what this will look like, with the armature deform on, we're going to go to pose mode for the armature, for the deform armature. With that bone selected, I'm going to now create an IK. Where are you? I'm going to create an IK inverse kinematics, and I'm going to set the chain length for this to 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you can see that dotted line tells you what the length of the... Yes, that's the way it works, because okay, the way that I have this set up is this right here is the actual bone that moves. These little bones here are for helping me deform the thigh better in terms of when I do a rotation. So actually, let's go into edit mode and let's split that, shall we? Let's give that a segment, and let's give this some extra segments. Alright, so what? No, not that one. Not you. You. So what this means is the rotation influence on that bone, because I split it into 2 segments, is going to be split evenly here. So that'll give a much smoother... It'll give a much smoother rotation to the bone, but in terms of... Well, alright, let me show you why. Those. So the IK target, it's brown like this, or that orange, because it doesn't have a IK target yet. So now in the target mode, we're going to go to IK control, and in the bone, IK target ankle. Done. Now we can use a pole target, and we should use a pole target, but right now I want to just come now. Oh, that's right, this one. That's the one we're going to use. So the reason it crane foots like that is because I don't have a pole target to force it to go in the right direction. But that's how the IK works right now. Oh, let me shut that off too so it'll make it smoother. So you can see, despite splitting the bone into two segments, it still moves inline, right? That's because of how the parenting works. This bone here is a child of this bone, and this bone is a child of this bone. So this bone that's highlighted now moving pulls this guy along and this guy along, keeping them both oriented along this straight line path. Now for the pole target. The pole target might not work because I don't do things the way the pole targeting system wants me to do it. And that's fine, that is my prerogative. So I'm going to try to create a pole target. If the pole target doesn't work, there is an easy fix. And it's actually... it'll actually still use the same object. So we are going to duplicate the toe because I want the pole target to be a child of this foot controller here. And this, we're going to name it pole PLTG, pole target knee, because that's what it is. L, because it's the left knee. And so if we go back to this bone here, and we go to its constraint, and then as for pole target, we go to control PL target knee, and now we gotta resolve that pole angle, which looks like it's going to be 90 degrees. So now if we move the foot, hey, look at that, it worked. It likes it, it really likes it. But wait. Hey, yeah, look at that, the pole target worked. If your pole target doesn't work, if your pole target does not work, the workaround then will be this. Let me clear that transform. You would go to this big bone here, not the smaller ones inside of it, but the big one here, and you would give it its own IK. No, not spline IK. Inverse kinematic, and you'd set again the control and pole target knee with the influence set to 1, and then that way let's go to this bone and shut off the pole target. When you move this one around, it works very much like the pole target. I think the advantage of pole targeting, if you can get the pole targeting to work, the advantage of the pole target is that it is going to give a natural, it's going to maintain the, alright, well, we'll explore this right now. Here's the knee, the pole target. Here's the knee as an IK target. So this is the pole target cheat with the IK. And you can see how the thigh is currently bending and flexing, right? Now if my hunch is right, because this is actually one of the few times I actually got the pole target to work. Let us delete that constraint. Go to here and pole target. Yeah, you see how the thigh, instead of turning inward, is staying pretty consistent, right? In other words, there's no rogue rotation on the y-axis for the thigh bone, which is good. That is very good. So I'm pretty happy right now. I am positively tickled. That location, no, clear all. The trick to getting your pole target to work is when you model, your knees have to be in kind of like a flexed position. So I'll just show you right now how you kind of want your knees set up. Oh, I'm in pose mode. That would be why. Edit mode. Thank you. So here's your thigh bone. From the thigh bone, we're going to extrude a calf bone. And you want the knee set up like this. Right? So it's got that bit of flex to it. Right? So if the natural position of your armature is in this way, then the pole target will be able to resolve itself, and you'll get a natural bend to the knee, you know, in this direction. It won't crane on you. But you can see with the way I like to model my characters, that's not always a possibility for me. So in this case it worked because I do have this interim knee bone here just to maintain the spacing of between the thigh and where it, you know, the femur and the tibia. So if we were to think of this in terms of anatomical terms, grease pencil being our friend, the shape of the bone actually is like this, right? Okay, and then so here you'd have your kneecap, and then here you would have the head of the tibia, and the tibia goes down to meet and create the ankle, and the fibia is like somewhere behind here. So it's this curve right here on the distal head of the femur that gives that extra distancing between your bottom leg bones and your top leg bone. So when you bend your knee or flex your knee, it gives you that space for your knee to bend and flex. So that's why I put that interim knee piece here. It simulates that extra space, and because this one's knocked in a bit like that, you know, it follows the direction that the pull target wants, right? It gives me that acute angle that the pull resolver wants. So that worked out great, and I'm happy. Again, if you can't get the pull target to work, then just use the IK cheat that I showed you. Now, feet. Let's hide Medusa, go back to the feet. We're going to go into the pose mode for this one. And we're going to add a bunch of IK constraints. So this is why I choose the naming convention that I do. Again, armature control, bone. If I just type in foot, it'll give me all the different foot bones that I have. Now, it seems kind of trivial right now, but as this system gets more and more complex, there's going to be a lot of control bones. So the ability to filter out by section or area really cleans this, streamlines this, makes it a lot easier. So this is going to be the roll for the ball of the foot. We're going to set the chain length to 1. This one again, we're going to IK that, control and foot toes. And that should be it. Because now when we go to this one, we go to the pose mode here. If I turn that, that which should be happening is not happening, and I think the reason why is because I did not set the I did not set the chain length. And there we go. That's how it's supposed to happen. Yeah. Always important to check your chain lengths before you do any of this stuff. If you're having a problem that the bones aren't moving in the direction you thought they would, it's probably going to be something with your chain length. Especially when dealing with IK targeting. Now, I do need to change the orientation of that bone. That's going to be in the roll. So, is the roll actually should be set to 0? No, 5.4. This I do it by eyeball. For those of you that use Unity, this is a kind of a good one for you too. If you bring in your Unity skeleton and you use this secondary control, this separate control, it's just easier if I show you. So let me save this, and so let's say we have this thing like all rigged up, right? We have our deform modifier, we have our deform skeleton. This is the Unity skeleton that you're going to be using for all your animations in game. When you have this separate control armature to drive those bones, once you have your actions, you can bake the actions onto your Unity skeleton, and when you're ready to import this character into Unity, you can either take the Blender file, bring it directly into Unity, and then in Unity, when you go into editing, you can simply select this hierarchy and delete it in Unity, or you can delete the hierarchy here. I swear you can delete the hierarchy here. I really, really, really do. I've done it before, and I'm trying to figure out why it's not letting me do it now. Okay. There you go. See? You can delete hierarchy, and it will delete all those bones, leaving you just with your regular armature. Or your Unity armature. So let's see what's going on with them toes. Alright, them toes is good. And the heal IK is good as well. Might as well, since we're here, might as well just copy this. So that guy, that guy, that guy, this one. Shift D, and if I go into armature mirror, local X, no, global X. Oh, not 3D cursor. Yeah, 3D cursor. And we'll set the cursor to center, armature mirror, local X, and armature flip names. So now all of our... That didn't work, that annoyed me. Revert. Are my names misnamed here? No, they are not. Oh. L. And pull target knee L. Gotcha. I don't know why it's doing that. It's not supposed to do that. It's distinctly not supposed to do that. Is it a bug in Blender right now? It is distinctly not supposed to be behaving this way. It did name it correctly. It's R, but it's supposed to get rid of the number attachment, which makes me worry that I've got extra bones floating around. I mean, we can just go into the hierarchy and make sure that we don't, but that is worrisome, because it distinctly should not be working this way. Alright, we'll go forward with this for now and just keep that in mind. I done did goofed, didn't I? I did. Sorry about that. Hold on, let me... I did the silly thing. Pose. Constraint. Copy constraint. And then select the right bone. I'm a dork. I'm sorry. There we go. There we go. I had my coffee this morning. I really did. I swear I had my coffee this morning. I think it might be time for more coffee. Pose. Go straight. Copy. I should probably give that a hotkey. And R. So now if I grab this one and start moving it around, it's just going to work. Awesome. Maybe the pole target might not work since... Alright, the pole target works also. Okay, I thought we were going to have to tweak the pole target and change the angle on the pole target, but no. Everything's working the way it should. Alright, and so that's a very basic and simple IK system for your legs. So if we go to continue to yes, we're going to have to clean up some of the rolls. We can do that right now. That's easy enough. So I think we're just going to change the roll on that one though. I want to be a scientist about this though. There is something that I do want. I do want clean individual origins. I do want clean, very, very clean rotations. I want clean rotations. So that is going to cleanly rotate on the X. That is good. And what about this one? It's going to rotate on the X also. Good, good, good. Red is X, and so it, if you look, the red is going straight up and down, which is exactly what we want, because we want the positive and negative rotation on the X to be controlling the roll of these specific areas here. So whenever you have a hinge joint of any kind, sorry, whenever you have a hinge joint of any kind, you want the roll of that hinge joint to be a clean rotation on the X. Or that's what I want, right? That's what I shoot for. Now the hands do follow a similar logic in terms of the IK controls with the feet. No. Yes, they do. In terms of the arm follows a similar IK theory with the leg. So, in other words, you're going to want an IK chain that starts at this bone and goes up to this bone here. I'm not going to have it affect the clavicle. I'm going to cut it before the clavicle, because the clavicle is going to get, the shoulder bone here, the clavicle is going to get its own IK. So there is going to be a shoulder IK that will give us a shoulder shrug. And that one, yeah, that'll be its own IK target, but otherwise there will be a bone that parrots this bone that is attached here at the wrist, and that's going to be our IK target for this bone here. So this bone is going to be IK targeted to the hand controller. The pole target for it is going to be an elbow bone over here, and that hand bone that we're going to create is also going to be the roll controller for these. And we're going to do something here. This bone, we do want that bone to get an extra segment. We do want it to have an extra bit of rotation, or an extra pivot for rotation. And that'll give us just like a really smooth turning of your forearm. I'm gonna get some more coffee and we'll knock out the hand. Okay, so the controller for the hand turn our snapping back on because we want to snap to a vertex. The control for the hand then yes, and we got to fix that roll. Actually, let's start with a default of 0. Oh, I was rolling the wrong thing. Really? No. Wow, the roll is set to 0. Cray. Z. I'm gonna want to see my, I'm definitely gonna want to see my, display axis. I need to see my axes. Yeah, alright, that's not good because my X is not in the position I want it to be. That actually reminds me, hold on. X is out here, that's good, and what about here? X is out, alright, X is out, and in this case X is out, alright, all the X's are pointed in the right spot, except for this one, okay. So let's play with the roll until the X is pointing forward. So 55, okay, we gotta clean that up. Yeah. There is, like, Maya has, if you're an absolute stickler, because I know that Maya has a copy orientation thing, so you can place an object in exactly the orientation that you want it, and then use that to be the base where you can copy orientations, in other words, bone roll from there. I I'm comfortable eyeballing it because I'm not creating something here that has to be a perfect simulation of a real life thing. So like if I was doing a mechanical piece that has to absolutely positively work in a specific way, I'd probably wind up using a rigid body simulation anyway. So I wouldn't be eyeballing it, but we're doing an organic thing. We're doing an organic character, we're doing an organic character. So I don't, if the roll here is off by like 0.01 degree, it's not going to kill me. So there's going to be the control hand, CTR hand, and ooh, it's also the IK target though. That right? Huh. Pardon, I'm thinking. No. IKTG. Okay, TG. IKTG. And left. Make life easy. So this is the IK target hand because this bone here is going to be targeting this bone. And do I need anything else? I want to say yes, but for now, no. Okay, so I'm going to extrude from here backwards a bone. This is going to be our elbow. Pole, PL, PG, elbow, left. And then we're going to go into the parenting. We're going to disconnect it and bring it up to around here where the elbow should be. Let's go to the front. We do want this distanced a little bit though. So here's where the first horror show starts, because we're going to be going into some funky constraints and there's going to be a lot of copy roll stuff that we're going to be doing. So we're going to save and push forward blindly like fools. And hope that everything works out the way it should. I have a constraint here. Maintain volume. Yeah, alright, goodbye. We don't need you. You need an IK constraint. Inverse kinematic. Control. And the length should be set to 2. You do get a pole target. Elbow. And we need to resolve that angle to 90. Negative 90? It should be like 270 something, but like negative 90 just feels better, despite the fact that that 270 something would be the same exact number, or rather the same exact value. But it's not, because when you look at your F curves in your animator, it will the F curves in your animator will make the difference. So yeah, we'll go with negative 90 there. this guy now needs to copy everything that this one does. So we'll go with that one. And we want it to copy rotation, I believe. It's actually been a while since I've rigged IK hand L. And we want the space to set to pose space. Pose space or local space? Local space. Yeah, it was local space, local space. So now, if we grab this one and we move it, we gotta shut that off first. It's not quite working the way we want, because that should... I mean, it's gonna... Not quite. Alright. I knew this was going to happen, so... Copy rotation... Offset? No. World space, world space... Yeah, that might be the one. Because now if I... No? Oh, because I'm not on the right. There we go. Alright, let's... It's hard to tell because of the pull target, so I'm going to shut the pull target off for now just to see what the effect is. Alright, we got the hand running the way we want it to, so I guess if we... Alright, that's what we need to do. I'll turn the pull target back on. Pull target elbow. But I think we're going to need to break the parenting on that. Let me break the parenting. And we'll go to pose. Or go to edit mode. I'm going to break the parenting. And so now... The reason why I'm breaking the parenting is because I kind of want the hand to be more independent from the elbow, and this will give me a greater degree. This will give us a greater degree of freedom when we're animating here. Okay, so far so good, but a little tail. Okay, pose, clear all. And so instead what I will do is I will simply copy the roll from the hand. I'm going to copy the roll of the hand. Which is 143. And apply that roll to him, to this bone right here. To it. 143. 43. Come on. Alright, good, that worked. So now if we go to pose mode. Yes. Yes. But the... See, now it's not rotating in the direction that I want it to rotate, and this makes me wonder... I done did goofed, but how badly did I goof? X is good, because I do want it to bend on the X, but I also want this one to bend on the X, so it means I'm going to need to copy... I'm going to need to reset this whole... 233. Sorry, again, this is like some housekeeping stuff that I should have done. when I was creating this armature. And so now this one's got to be 235 as well. And then that way, we go into pose mode. Grab that, move that around. We're good. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Okay. So now, here comes the next part of the headache. The next part of the headache is this guy, these right here, these bones, are going to have copy rotations. And it could work perfectly, and it could not. We will see what happens. Copy rotation, we'll go with local space, and the only rotation we want to copy is the Y. Don't necessarily want it at 100. Actually, we'll put it at 0.9 because this one is split. So if this is 0.9, then this one here should be 0.9, this one should be 0.95. This one here, nope. I can hide you. I believe I can hide you. Let me hide you for now. Pose, copy, constraint. And what we'll do is we'll just lower the influence to 0.75. This is an arbitrary number. We're going to test it out right now. So for that, we want to see Medusa. And let's go to solid. And let's see if adding some smoothness. Oh, not you. You. Hey, you. That's the one we want. Alright, so... Damn it, no. Why is it so pronounced there? It shouldn't be, but it is. Alright, let's play with... I don't know, let's give it a segment, see what happens. Let's go into material view to see just how badly that's deformed. That's deforming pretty badly. Clear all, and try this again. Okay, see now it's a little smoother. Okay. let's increase. Let me try it. Let me give that one also a that rotation. Let's see what it does. Constraints copy, and we're gonna have to, let's give that one to 0.3. This one 0.5 just to keep it clean, and this one. Alright, let's see what that does for us. I could like it a little more, I could like it a little less. Let's see if we increase the segments on that and try that again. So clear all and go back to alright, better. I may even fine-tune that later, but there's the basic concept. So let's go back to the mesh and drop a view. Subdivision surface thing, and oh, I gotta unhide the bone that I hid. Shift H. There you go. Hey, welcome back. So if that's the case, let's just hide the little internal bones. We'll hide the we'll hide these little internal bones. And play with them later if we need to, but so far so good. That was actually That worked out well. Clear all. And let's go back to this and reestablish that poll. No, the poll target's active. I just killed the parenting on that. I might actually parent this to the shoulder. It's just that there's debate forming in my head as to what's going to be the best thing to do and whether to keep the elbow unparented or to parent the elbow back to the hand. And I'm going to parent the elbow back to the hand for now. Yeah, I'm going to parent the elbow back to the hands just because I can't think of a really good argument not to do that right now. It might change later. So that way wherever the hand goes, the elbow follows. The shoulder is going to be its own thing. And speaking of which, let me get that shoulder IK now. The shoulder IK bit should actually still be connected. So duplicate the elbow and we'll fix the parenting in a second. Or rather, the shouldn't have a parent at all. And we're going to call this one IK TG shoulder left. Turn our snap back on. So into the pose mode for here, and we're going to give this guy the IK constraint. Target, bone, shoulder. No pull target is necessary, and it's only going to be acting on itself. Alright, it's not just me. That thing does have its own color. Why? Wow. It has a separate color and it's freaking me out. The fact that it has a separate color is kind of freaking me out. And it's not because it's an IK target, because if that was the case, this guy be have a... Oh, no. Alright, that is the... I never noticed it before. The reason why it's got that different color is because it is an IK target. Is this a new function of Blender 9? It might be a 2.79 thing. Okay. But there's our shoulder. Let's turn Deuce back on so we can see the effect this is having on everything. So we got that shoulder roll. Oh, well, the snakes should not be affected. Wow. Oh, nuts. Oh, great. Alright, that's going to be cleanup that I'm going to do off camera. I'm not going to bug you guys with that. And I'll do that later on tonight. There, so you can see how all this works and stuff, and I'm gonna be able to animate her soon. And the simple pleasures in life. Now we're gonna have to clean that up also. Well, let's see what happens with... we're gonna definitely have to clean the weight painting up on that. Alright, that looks better. In fact, actually, let's go to material and see what it looks under the material view. Cool. Yeah, I should not be animating in material view, sorry. Let's go back to... And that's a function of this not being active right now. So, like, these bones here are supposed to have a similar... like a way of dampening the rotation along here, and how to do that though? How long have we been streaming for? An hour and a half. What time is it? Alright, we'll go to 12 o'clock. Should be enough time for me to finish these legs. Because I do want to give some kind of dampening right here to that Y transfer form. So, we're going to go to our armature control and in edit mode for our armature controller. And this is simply just going to be a rotation fix. That's all this is going to be. So, what should we call this? Control thigh rot left. Thigh rot. No. No. I refuse. Oh, wait, no. Go back to edit mode, because what I do want to do, so as not to have any bizarre rotation issues. Alright, so X is facing in, so with our friend here, X is facing what direction? X is facing in also. Good. So the bone roll should be the same. Our go back to edit mode. So the roll in edit mode is -71.6. I mean, it's a -180, but why? Such an odd rotation. What's the rotation on this one? 1.6. Alright. Not happy about that, but okay. Oh, pose mode. And in pose mode, I want to give I'm going to give this one a copy rotation, don't I? Sorry, I'm just thinking ahead. No, not inverse kinematic. Well, yeah, you are gonna. No, not that one. I am thinking of an IK. I've got an IK in my head, but it's not for this one. This is going to be a copy rotation, and again, control the no. Really? When did that happen? Oh, that happened just now, because I named the wrong thing the wrong way. Why am I... That's what I did. I named the wrong thing in the wrong spot. I am sorry. Blah. Sorry about that. That was... I swear I had coffee. I know I had coffee. And I'm drinking the Bustelo stuff, so I'm drinking the good stuff. This ain't no like half calf. Armature control. Yes. And the bone is thigh. Uh-huh. Local space, yes. And it should be set to 100. It should be set to 100. We can go with 100. So now, if I did this correct, let's bring our girl back into view. Alright. Going to the armature control pose. Oh, are you? Okay. As I desperately try not to do anything that's going to have to make me flag this mature content. No. This one should not be rotating, but it is rotating, and it's rotating because it is the child object of... You are the child of that one. Inherit rotation. Do not inherit the rotation, please. And damn it, nope. You do want to inherit rotation. I need to override your rotation then. That means that you get a copy rotation constraint as well, but only for your Y. So let us copy the rotation of in deform. Let's go with the lower leg, shin, left, local space, it's just the Y that I want you to copy. And that should do it. And so now when I rotate that, hey, no. Everything's still rotating, despite the fact that I don't want it to rotate. there's one more thing I can think of that might fix this, and I'll go to edit mode and I'll have to change the parenting of this bone to this. Not connected. And so now if we go into pose mode again, so far so good. Yes, but now we've got the situation of odd deformations here. Despite giving this thing a segment, both segments are turning the same way. Is there any way that I can just apply that constraint to one segment? I mean, there's a bunch of things we're gonna have to clean up, but for now, I think we are good. And I do have some chores that I gotta catch up on. I'm just thinking like the little tracer pose. Yeah, this is good. This is good. This is a good start. This is definitely a good start. So I will catch you guys later this afternoon. What's up, Warp? You came at an inopportune time, man. I'm just about to jump off. I will be back on later this afternoon. It's a internet-related issue. Basically, I need to get a much stronger, better Wi-Fi thing. I can't have a direct wire connection, unfortunately. And right now I'm going off of a USB wireless adapter, which sucks for everything that I'm trying to do. So I gotta go to the store and get a new one, as well as miscellaneous. But I will definitely see you guys later on this afternoon. I am hyped because this is coming out pretty damn good. So I will post a countdown on the, or I will put a schedule. I'll be shooting for 5 o'clock, and I'll see you guys later this afternoon, okay?